So application navigator is used to navigate to the applications and modules. And here you will be only able to search the applications and modules, but nothing other than that. Like if you try to search for some records using some number, to try to search for some properties, or if you try to search for some configuration name, you won't be able to do that, right? You can only search with the application and module name here, right? So the field on which you are able to type something, right? Okay, typing something. So the field on which I'm typing something, some text, this is called type filter text. Okay, it's called type filter text technically. So these technical terms will be asked in the certification. So they may not be used regularly, but you should be aware of them as per the certification point of view. Just a minute. Right? Type filter text. So the area where the text is entered or the input is entered on the application navigator. Okay. Right. So now, is my voice audible, everybody? Is it audible enough?
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
Right. So now, say for example, you are working on the ServiceNow project and you're accessing your project instance. Now, few of the modules you are accessing very frequently. Okay. So if you want to access any module, you have to type here the module name. Say for example, test table 11. So test table 1 or test table 2 to 9 a.m. I want to access this particular module. And so if you want to access, you have to type here in the application navigator, type filter text, and then you'll get the results here. Then you can open this, right? So this is the way generally you do. But every time, if you want to open, every time you have to type and then navigate this way. So it's a time waste, and also it involves more manual effort. I have to type and then I have to get the result here, then open it. Then I can navigate to these records related to that module. So instead of typing every time and then navigating this way, you can create this as a bookmark, or you can create this as a favorite. So what do? If you bookmark some URL or website, you can directly navigate to that URL or website from the bookmarks. So similarly here also, if you want to navigate to any module, very frequently accessed module, you can create that module or application as your favorites. Then you can easily navigate every time. You need not type every time here. So simply, so you see all these applications and modules are created as favorites. So you see the star. So they are created as favorites. So if you want to navigate to your favorite items, so you have favorites option. Click on this. So these are all your favorites. I mean, these are all my favorites. I've created them as favorites. So you see here, where is it? You see here, my custom table 9 a.m., my test table 2 to 9 a.m. So this is the favorite item. I can just go to the favorites. I can simply go to my favorite item and click on it. Right? It's a shortcut to access frequently accessed modules or applications. Getting it? So for example, observe carefully. So users administration, I'm marking groups as favorites, group module as my favorite. Just simply click on the star. right? So I've created it as favorite. Now go to your favorites here. See here, user administration groups. So it is added onto the favorites. So this way, you can simply click on this favorite item. You'll be navigated to the respective records, right? So these are all the group records. So it's a shortcut that you can also use it. So now, so the icon using which you are able to make a module or application as favorite, this is called filter favorite icon. Filter favorite icon. Right. Icon used to mark the application or module as favorites. Yeah. So that's about this. Now, so observe carefully. When I'm clicking on all and and I search for any module or application, and when I click on that particular module, right? See, I'm navigating to the records of that particular module, right? So directly without holding the control key, and then directly click on this particular module. So the results are showing up on the same screen. It's not navigating to the new window. Results are showing on the same screen. So if you simply search for some modular application and simply directly click on that item, so the results will show up on the same screen, right? Same screen. So the area where you are able to see the content or the results, the area where you are seeing actual content of your search or the results of your search, the area is called content frame. So the large area where you're seeing the results, right? So that area is called content frame. So that is the third section of the box screen. Content frame, right? So the area where actual data is displayed, okay, on searching from the application, right? So it's called content frame. Now, so this is a large area when compared to any other components. Banner frame, right? And then application navigator, it occupies only less space, but content frame is the area which occupies more space because it is the area which is showing the actual results of the data. Getting it? So favorites is about, it stores, it will list out all the favorite items that we marked. Okay. Favorite modules or applications that we marked from the application navigator. And history. History is nothing but it will show the history of activities that we did. History of activities. So from last 24 hours or from last 48 hours, like what all list of records that we have opened or where all, which all scripts we opened, which all navigations we have done in the ServiceNow application, all the history is stored here. Like browser history, you can also call it as ServiceNow history, user history. So you see here, 1 minute ago we accessed users module. 2 minutes ago we accessed groups module. 4 minutes ago we accessed this particular module. And yesterday we accessed this incidents and then system property, projects, demands, access controls, etc., etc. Right? So it lists out the history of activities that a user has done from last 24 hours or more than that as well. Okay. Now, so this is about the ServiceNow home screen elements. Any questions? Before we move to the next topic, any questions? Somebody was asking about the ACL, right? You can ping me the URL in the chat. You have a chat option in the Zoom. So you can ping the URL, I'll check. And next, let's go to the other topic. So next we'll talk about users administration. Okay, users administration. So users administration covers or explains about managing users, groups, and roles in service. Okay, so just verify what is this ACL, right? So I'm opening up that ACL in my instance. So let me elevate the privileges. So few of the ACLs you will not be given access to edit. You see here, there is a message showing up here. Item is in read only based upon the production policy. Okay, this is not this is restricted, or this is designed to restrict from the product team itself. Okay, ServiceNow team itself, they have made this ACL read only. Okay, even though users have admin role or security underscore admin role, they'll not be able to edit this because this is made read only by the product team itself. Getting it? So at product level, this is read only. It's not a problem with your role or with my role. Okay, it's a default OOB configuration. Clear? You can try checking for other ACLs on any other table, right? So wherever you see this message, right, this item is read only based on the production policy, you won't be able to edit those ACLs. Not only ACLs, you have many scripts and configurations which will be in read only, so you won't be able to edit them in any case. You can try for other records. Okay, so next, users administration. So users administration explains about managing users, groups, and roles in ServiceNow. So what is users? Generally, any application you take, any application, either it could be a service providing application, or any ticketing application, or any social networking application. So you'll be able to utilize the services of the application, okay, only after you log in to the application. Getting it? Only once you log into the application, you will be able to use the services of it. Okay, without having your user account present in the application, you cannot do anything, right? So for example, simple. So if you want to use Facebook, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to create your user account in the Facebook, and then you can log in, and then you can post something, right, in the Facebook. Similarly, any other application, Instagram or any other application, you have to have your user account created first, right? So that application will manage all the users. Okay. So now here also in ServiceNow, it's also one of the applications. So in order to utilize the services of the ServiceNow, you have to have your user account created, right? So like you, many other user accounts are being present in the ServiceNow application. So now this is my instance. Okay. In this instance, there are many user accounts, like my user account, many other user accounts. So my username is admin. So you also might be having your instance and your username is admin. Getting it? So like admin, there are many other user accounts with different roles and with different access. Okay. So how all these users are managed? So take the live scenario. So you are working in the project and your client is using ServiceNow application. And you, like you, many other developers or business users are using ServiceNow in your project. So all those users present part of the client project, their user accounts will be present in the ServiceNow client application. Heading it, client ServiceNow application. So all the users accounts will be managed in the ServiceNow application. So where are those user accounts managed? How are those managed? So that's the main idea of this users administration. How do you manage users in ServiceNow? It will be very simple. So users are managed or stored in a separate table called users table. So there's a table called users table where all the user accounts are stored. So you can navigate to those user accounts from the application navigator. So type on the all application navigator, type users, right? Users administration or user administration. So under user administration, you have users. So this is a module which will be used to navigate to the user accounts. Click on users. So how do you navigate? So hold the control key and then click on this module. So if you want to navigate, open the results in the new screen, new window, what you have to do, hold the control key and click on this module. Left click on this module. So these are all the user accounts present in the system. Okay. So each and every row that you see here is nothing but a user account. So Prakash Rao. So the row, first row is related to Prakash Rao user account. Rudhiraj, second row, it's related to the Rudhiraj user account. Likewise, so I log in with admin user account, right? So admin is also a user account in this users table. Admin is a username. This is a first name. This is the last name. So you are, for example, you are joining in your project. So your user account will be created in this user table. Okay. So same table will be present in your project ServiceNow instance. So there your user account will be created if you want to have the access to your project instance. Right. So now let's talk about users first. So user is a record in users table. Before that, we need to understand table. What do you mean by table? And what is the purpose of table? Anybody has idea on tables before? Right, no problem. So table Table stores the records. Table stores the records. So every table, so there will be many tables in any application you take. Okay, data will be stored in the tables. Tables will be present in the database, and the tables will store the records information. Now here also in ServiceNow, there are various tables. Just a minute. Let's be online. Right. So tables will store the records information. So it could be any information. So it could be a user's information, it could be groups information, it could be incident ticket information, it could be request information, right? Everything is stored in the database table. Okay. So there will be various tables. Each table stores a particular type of records. Okay. So like, so there are few tables, for example, users table. Users table stores user records, right? Incident table stores incident records. Okay. Right. So problem table stores problem records. Right. So there are various tables given by ServiceNow within the ServiceNow application. You can also create new tables as well. They're called custom tables. But before that, we'll understand the basics of tables. So tables will store the data. In which format they will store, in which way they will store. So we'll see that. So now observe carefully, this is an Excel. So in the same format, records also stored in the database table. So you see, these are all columns, right? Column headers. So serial number, first name, last name, user ID, email, location, phone, department. So these are all column headers, right? So this is something related to users information. Okay. So first name, last name, user ID, email, location, phone, department. So first row related, second row related to a user detail of a John Abraham. So that user related information is stored in the second row. Next, third Pramod Kumar, fourth Shravan Kumar, fifth Srinivas Raju. So in this way, you are adding the data into the Excel. So each column will give you the information of that user data. Getting it? So in the same format, records are also stored in the database table. So in the table, you will have something called columns like this, and individual records are stored as individual rows. Okay. Each record is stored as an individual row in the database table. They are displayed this way. So now you can check that here. Observe carefully. So type users in the application navigator. So if you want to check how user records are stored, so click on users under user administration. Now you see, these are all the list of records from the user table. See how these records are stored. So these are all column headers, right? Column headers, like how we see in the Excel. user ID, first name, last name, updated by name. Likewise, there are many column headers here. So they're called fields. All these column headers are called fields technically, and each row is nothing but a user record. Each row is nothing but a user record. So user table is storing user records. Likewise, other table stores other type of records. Say, go for groups. Okay, groups. Now open, click on this groups. See here. So this is a group table, and you see these are all the column headers of group table. They're called fields. The fields of the group table. Each and every row here is nothing but a group record. Okay, a group record. So now group table is storing groups information. User table is storing users information. Likewise, every table stores some information, specific information. Now incident table will store incident records. Okay. So click on incident and you can see incident application, and under that you have all as a module to navigate to all the incident records. So these are all the incident records stored on the incident table, and these are all the column headers called fields of the incident, and this is the data. So each and every row is nothing but a record, incident record, right? Clear up till now, everybody?
Yeah, yes, sir.
So now,
Fields, the fields are we have to create, or it should be a default.
so these users, groups, and incidents, whatever the tables that are given by ServiceNow, right? The fields are already present. Okay, you need not create the fields, but you can also create new fields onto those tables. So I can create new field on the user table. I can create new fields on the group table. I can create new fields on the incident table. Okay, you can do that.
How can you explain that? How?
We'll talk about that. We have a separate discussion for that, right?
Oh, okay, sure.
So now, so we understood like how tables are storing the data. So user table stores user records. Okay. So every table will have two names. Okay. Every table has two names. One is display name and other is system name. Okay. Any table you take, it will have two names, display name and system name. So display name is for the humans to understand. Okay. Display name is for the humans. System name is for the ServiceNow system, ServiceNow application. So looking at the display name of the table, you can understand, okay, what is this table? Okay, this is incident table, this is users table, this is group table, this is request table. Okay, looking at the display name. Whereas ServiceNow application will understand only when you pass the system name of the table. Okay, ServiceNow system will not understand using display name. ServiceNow system will understand only if you pass the system name of the table. So observe carefully. So users table. So users table, you can give the naming for the users table in this way. Users is the display name and system name is sys_user. Okay, so this is a complete name for the user table. So this is the display name and this is the system name. System name should be within the square brackets, open and close square brackets. So looking at this display name, we can understand, okay, this is a users table, right? So if we talk about groups table, so this is a display name and this is the backend name or system name. So looking at these groups, I can understand, okay, this is a groups table, but system will not understand with this display name. System will understand only with this system name. So when you write some script, okay, on groups table, you have to use system name. Do not use display name. Getting it? So this is about the table names. Any doubts so far? Right. So let's continue on the users. So users table stores user records. So we'll have to understand what is present in the user record, and we'll have to understand some of the important fields on the user records. So I open the user table and let me open any user record here. Right. So there are few details here related to the users. So we'll have to understand them. So user ID. User ID is nothing but user name of the user. So it could be an employee name, it could be an associate ID, or it could be an employee ID, right? So different organizations call the employee unique number with different names. Some organizations call it as login ID. Some organizations call it as employee ID. Some organizations call it as associate ID, right? So the ID which is used to differentiate a user across other users. Okay, so this is the ID. First name of the user, right? So for Prakash Rao, this is the first name. Prakash is the first name. Last name is Rao. Title is nothing but designation. Okay, what is the designation of Prakash Rao in the organization? Location, from which location he is working? What is his base location? VIP. So few of the users, they are called VIP users. So if this is checked to true, then this user is called as a VIP user in the organization. Company. So if the company organization has different sub-organizations or sub-number firms, so this field captures that number form. Department, from which department the user is part of. So not only ServiceNow users will be using this ServiceNow application. So if organization has different teams, all those teams will be using this ServiceNow application. Okay. So from like audit team, from HR team, or from any other team, right? Everybody will be using this ServiceNow application within the organization for ticketing process. So in that case, their user accounts also will be present in the user table. Okay. So which department the user belongs to? Is it from finance? Is it from accounts? Is it from administration? Is it from audit? Right. So the department. Email address. This field will store the official office email address. Right. So here I've given some dummy email address, but when you work in the project and when you open the user account, this field will store the actual official email address, office email address, or client's email address. If you're working for some client, you'll have a client email address, right? So that email address will be stored here. So calendar integration. So anything like any activity that you do within ServiceNow, if you want to receive some notification to your Outlook, so that Outlook should be integrated to ServiceNow in order to receive the notifications. So this field talks about that. Calendar integration to Outlook. Time zone. So which time zone this user is working in? Right? Is he working in US time zone? Is he working in Europe time zone, Australian time zone, right? Which time zone is he working in? Business phone is nothing but office phone number. Mobile phone number is nothing, mobile phone. So this field stores the mobile phone number. So profile picture of the user. So you can upload the picture here. So next, password needs reset. So this field talks about, so you might have observed when you requested your personal instance, you might have got some long encrypted password, alphanumeric combination password, right? So what you did, so when you log in for the first time, you use that alphanumeric combination password to log in, right? After logging in, you might have prompted for resetting the password, right? So how did that reset option come to you? Because of this option, because of this field, password needs reset. So when the first time, okay, user account is created and password is set by the system with some alphanumeric combination password. And when user logs in for the first time, user will be prompted with the window to reset the password. So that time when the user account is created, so when password is generated by the system, this field will be checked to true. Okay, by default, this field will be checked to true. So when this field is checked to true, that means when user logs in, it should ask for password reset. Okay, so the password reset window is coming up only because this is enabled. This field is checked to true. If it is unchecked, when you log in, you will not see that reset password prompt window. Okay, so first time when you log in, by default, this will be set to true because when user account is created, password will be set by the system. So when the password is set by the system, this will be automatically set to true, right? So when you reset the password in future, for example, right? So again, system will generate some dummy password or alphanumeric combination password. Even that time, right? So this field will be set to true. Observe carefully now. I'm setting the password for this user. And see a window here, set password, generate, right? Generate, copy the password of this user, save. See here, when it's clicked on save, this field is set to true. So whenever the password is set by the system, this field becomes true. So when this field becomes true, when this user logs in for the first time with the password set by the system, it will prompt for password reset. So that's the meaning of it. Logged out. So what is this logged out? Logged out means, so when this option is set to true, it means the user will not be able to log into the system. His account is locked. His account is locked. He won't be able to log into the instance, right? So when you're working in the project, if some customer or client is coming up to you, hi, my access is not working. I'm not able to log into the ServiceNow application. Could you please check my access? Then what you're supposed to do? First, you should open his user account, and then verify whether the logged out is set to true or not. Okay, if it is set to true, then that is the reason why he is not able to log in. Then you have to uncheck it, save his user account, and then inform user to log in. Okay, sometimes this will be automatically set to true. Okay, so active is nothing but this user is an active user. So this is used for some integration purpose. Okay, so if you want this user to be considered as an integration user for integration setup, then you have to use these options to true. Set these options to true. Manager. So every user will have some manager in the organization, right? So for this user, so if you want to add the manager, right? So you can add it on this field. So Abel Tutor can be the manager for this user. So likewise, when you get into the organization, your manager name will be showing up here in your user account, right? Any questions up till now? Anybody has any questions?
No, no, sir.